All right, I'll give it a moment for it to boot up. My name is Geoff Weiss. I'll be doing a presentation on creating / editing / converting graphics from a modern computer to the 2GS. I've chosen to use the product GIMP for making this happen. GIMP is an open source, free equivalent of Photoshop, hence the title of glamorizing this presentation as Photoshop for the 2GS. I'll be discussing, let's try this. GIMP by itself does not have any native support for the Apple IIGS, but I have written some software that will allow this functionality. So, as I mentioned, this can be used for converting existing graphics, creating new graphics, editing graphics. The new piece that's available is a export function that has been that's available now. We believe I have a URL here. Nope. The URL is going to be a few screens down. For those who want to play along, the URL for this presentation can be found at because that's on the home page, or on the title page, is right here if you want to go ahead and download this. Jump ahead, and I'm going so fast you probably can catch that, so hopefully you took a picture. The first step for getting this to work on any computer, this is a cross-platform solution to work on, well, I guess I'm jumping ahead here. What we'll be talking about, we'll be telling how to get all the components to make this work, dealing with the unusual 2GS resolutions, palette situations that are less common compared to modern computers, and how we can export this picture to the 2GS. So, chose GIMP because it's a cross-platform solution available across virtually all modern operating systems. The product is well supported. For those who are following what's happening with GIMP, there's a new version in development right now. It's well documented, so for those who are trying to learn how to do Photoshop-like skills, there's plenty of how-tos for GIMP, and GCS uses GIMP, so it sounds like a good use for an Apple II product, right? So we'll briefly go and how to get GIMP, and I should also make a note that this plugin was written in Python, so Python is also another component here. So if you're using a Unix-like environment, GIMP will probably be in your standard package repo. Windows and Mac, there's a URL to download it. Python is also needed. This will work with Python 2.6 and higher. For Unix-like OSs, you can download Python from your vendor's repo, and you can find Apple includes it with the OS, and or at least with the Unix or developer tools. I'm not sure where that line gets drawn, and Windows can download it as well. We'll sort of gloss over if there's any tricky parts of installing these components. I just follow the documentation that the software provides. All right. So there's also going to be 2 additional components needed. We have the URLs right here for those who want to get access to them. One is the plugin itself. As I mentioned, it's written in Python. It is a export routine for GIMP, and there's also a custom palette that will be understood as we further go along. By the name, it's a super high-res 640 mode dithered palette. All right, so we'll assume that it's well documented how to install Python GIMP on your system. I have instructions here of how to install the two additional components: the GIMP palette, the GPL file. It goes in the GIMP palettes directory, and the .python will get installed in the plugins directory. If on Unix-like OSs, including Mac, it can be installed in the local configuration in one's home directory. I would recommend, of course, run GIMP first to get that directory created, and then you can go in and install the new components. If you use Windows, it's a little bit more. I don't know if there's more than one way to do this, but one way is to go ahead and install this at the system level. Any questions so far? All right. So, 2GS graphics. So we'll begin with the main types we have here. Maybe lesser used, maybe more often with games, but lesser used for desktop applications is the 320 mode, which is 320 by 200 lines of resolution. It comes with a palette of, it comes with 16 colors out of a palette of 4096. And I also made a note, which will be important later on, is the shape of the pixel on the 2GS screen, or at least on a real 2GS versus an emulator. It is a rectangular pixel that is a 10 by 12 ratio. On 640 mode, 200 lines of resolution. A quick math in your head says, oh yeah, that pixel will be definitely more elongated, less width, less wide. So the pixel ratio is 5 by 12, and as a reminder of the colors, a standard 640 mode resolution is 4 colors out of a palette of 4096. Of course, as we all have known about the 2GS, there is the dithered 640 mode, and has 16 colors. It is 16 fake colors, hence the term dithered. There is a set palette on the even columns and a different palette on the odd columns, and by combining colors together, you'll get by combining two close enough colors or two different colors combining two colors next to each other, it will look visually as additional colors. So if you put like a red and blue together, it'll look purple. So that's how the dithered color works, and the dithered color. Dithered mode, even though it's 640 dithered mode, it is effectively a 320 horizontal resolution mode if you don't count black and white specifically, which is more legible as distinct as a distinct resolution. The colors get blurred. The black and white tends to be more distinct. So if we discount the black and white, it is effectively 320 pixels across. And the effective pixel ratio is back to the 320 mode of a 10 by 12. So, briefly here, I'll explain what the steps are, and then we'll go in and do a demo. So GIMP does support non-standard, non-square pixels. I was going to say non-standard size pixels, but that doesn't quite make sense. Modern machines are generally square pixels, and hence graphics software, and software in general, but more specifically graphics software, makes this assumption. GIMP was designed, I would assume Photoshop has the support as well, We'll also support non-square pixels. This is important if you want to see a 640 by 200 resolution screen, but look proportionally correct on a modern computer, but be able to graphically manipulate it with the right vertical, specifically the right vertical proportions. So there's going to be the so first step one is uncheck the dot for dot in the view menu. Go to select image, choose print size. Break the link between X resolution and Y resolution. Whatever value is in the Y resolution, divide that by 1.2 for 320 mode, or dithered 640 mode, divide by 240 for just a normal 640 mode, and then go to, and at this point the image will get elongated, and then you can go back and scale the image vertically, divide the vertical resolution by 2, and then it will look proportionally correct on your native host computer or your native computer screen, and it will be in the right proportions for 2GS. Next step is dealing with the color palette. Modern computers pretty much every modern computer / modern OS is a 24, 32-bit color palette. What I mean by that is 2 to the 24, 2 to the 32 colors. So 16.4 million colors, or whatever 2 to the 32 is. As mentioned before, the TGS only has a palette of 4,096, of which only 4 or 16 colors will be visible. Yes, there are special tricks one can do to get more colors on the screen by using multiple palettes, but assuming you're only going to be using one palette for the entire screen, that's what all these assumptions are, or 3200 color mode, which actually does more tricks. And these routines that are available will not handle multiple palettes. It will not handle 3200 color mode. So we're stuck with a single palette for any pictures generated, which is equivalent functionally to most 2GS Paint programs. So we're not losing that much using this model, using this method. So with 320 mode, what has to be done is convert the picture to an index color map. So you specify the number of colors. There's several dithering options. The dithering option that I like best is the Floyd-Steinberg normal. There are 2 or 3 others. So there are different dithering options for one's preference, or to make pictures look better, or if looking for certain stylistic presentations. Then click Convert. For 640 mode, it's basically the same set of steps, but you give it a index, the maximum colors to be 4 instead of 16, and everything else is the same. For dithered mode, this is limited specifically to the 2GS desktop set of colors dithered mode. There is no option right now to support any other dithered combinations. And this is unfortunately a limitation. Trying to hack the solution from a non-2GS platform. So hopefully this will not be a real bottleneck for people trying to leverage this functionality and bringing this to the 2GS. So the GPL palette that was provided in the downloads, that has been configured as a standard desktop 640, a standard desktop dithered 640 mode palette. 16 colors, so it's set up at 16 colors for ease of exporting from GIMP to a native 2GS format. And the dithering option, again, I like the best, is the Floyd-Steinberg. So yeah, you select the customized palette and GIMP will use that palette instead of making up its own based upon the existing colors. And the other two models would not use any standard desktop palettes, but will pick the best matching colors. To do export, you go to File, Export As. There's going to be a new within the file type save options. There's going to be a new option, Apple IIGS Super High-Res Screen, and the file name will default with the .pic extension, and then click Export to save. Once you have it, copy the file to your 2GS through whatever favorite means that you like. Because there's no file type, no ProDOS-like file types on modern computers, you'll probably have to go through the steps of setting the file type once it's on the 2GS. Please make sure that the file type is set to a standard super high-res screen file, which is C0 file type and 00000 auxiliary type. And then once you have the picture, view it with any standard 2GS picture viewer. All right, any questions so far? All right, so let's go ahead and do a demo. Make sure, mouse didn't lock up this time.
I had one.
Sure, yes.
Is there any possibility with this, does GIMP even have the ability to have the support added easily for 3200 mode, or is it just going to be 16 for now?
Ask the person who wrote you can ask someone who's more of an expert of 3200 color mode, who I'll put on the spot, John, who I don't see here. So the answer is most likely yes, it's possible. I don't want to do the math.
Okay.
So if someone else wants to volunteer, I'll certainly love to see that feature get added to the code.
You could even add 256 color mode where you have 16 palettes of 16 colors.
That, I think, is going to be more complicated unless you actually write.
Basically what the 3200 color mode.
Well, yeah. I think that's I think 3200 color mode will be easier to develop for an export than a multi-palette mode. Any additional questions so far? All right. So we'll go ahead and start up GIMP here. And in dedication to my roommate, I am going, let's see, open. We will convert a Planet of the Apes picture. My roommate's favorite movie.
I could kill you in your sleep. Okay, maybe I went a little dark.
All right. Step one. So we'll go through and convert this into a 320 mode, 640 mode, and 640 mode dithered. And we have about 10 minutes to do this. All right. So step one. I'm going to do this so I can see better. All right. So step one, scaling. So this size of this picture is something like 1280 by 720 or something like that. So I'm going to scale the image. Break the link and drop this down to 240. No, I'm going to keep the dimensions. So drop that to 360. Scale it. All right. So what I've done is I'm going to make this. Obviously, I'm going to do the 640 first. So we're going to have 640 pixels across and 360 pixels down. So I got the right number of pixels across. So then I'm going to change the colors. I want to do that afterwards. what I'm going to do is actually cheat because I'm not really editing the picture, so I'm not going to worry about changing the pixel scaling within GIMP, and I'll just deal with a wider picture. So, index, this is going to be 4 colors. I'm going to do Floyd Steinberg. You can see we have a couple of different options here. And most of the colors got lost with this. All right, now I'm going to crop the picture so I can get 200 pixels down. And that's going to be over here, rectangle. And using a mouse will be a lot easier than trying to use a mouse pad. Is that not crop? There we go. Select. I'm going to cheat. 64 by 312, I'm going to crop that, and then I'm going to just scale it. And it won't be actually accurate, but it'll be good enough. Crop, and then just force a scale, just to get this done with. All right. So the picture looks bad, and I'll just go ahead and change the pixels, change the pixel ratio just so we can see how it actually will look on a 2GS. Print size. Break that. Divide this by 2.4. So it will look a little blocky on your desktop because the pixels are actually being scaled, but it's actually when it's writing to a file, it's going to go back to just single pixels. So the scaling is just the artifact of the screen, not what the actual file will look like. So now we'll export this. So the export options are down in here. We have the new 2GS format type, and I'm going to call this just APE 640. And you see how fast it exports. And this is a Core i5 box. It gives you a comparison of how this would compare to another computer. All right, let's go back and go back to the original picture and repeat for 320 mode. And I'll just go real fast without worrying about the actual, I'll just force a scale without actually trying to make the scale look right again. So scale image, break this. So we're going to do 320 by 200. And change the index colors, or set a color map rather. 16. And it doesn't look too bad as a 320 mode picture here. So export that. And now we'll go to dithered. All right, dithered is 320 by 200 and a custom palette. So actually, I'll just redo those steps again. All right. So use custom palette. Select the custom palette from here, from the little palette preview. Select the dithered. Also, as I forgot to say out loud, but it was in the slide, uncheck the remove unused colors. If you don't do that, it will actually mess up the color palette and won't produce correctly on the 2GS screen. So now we'll export this. Export it and make it D for dithered. All right. Quit out of this. And just to prove that everything works on a 2GS. Yes, I see. I'm all right. So I'm going to use 2Pro that comes with KEGS and GS port to create a disk image, which is the fastest way, at least for me, to make this happen. Spelled that wrong. Yep. All right. So I'm going to use disk access 2 to create some file types, or to change the file types rather. The disk image by default was called poof, and I have some other sample images I was working on, testing all this code out. I got everything working this morning. Bring up a paint program. So 320 mode, good. Platinum Paint knows that needs a switch. So there's 320 mode. Like it, Sheppy?
Yeah, I know.
640 mode, that should just be very monochromatic. So you like that better, Sheppy?
Yeah, it's a little better. Still too much color.
Well, I'll give you more color. And there you go, in great dither desktop mode. Thank you very much.